Hello and welcome to the Sun Times Online Desimartini. My name is Sandeep, and today I've got the very beautiful, very gracious Gul Panag with us. Hello, Gul, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
After winning the Miss India title and with all the social activism and running the marathon and all your interests that matter, what exactly is that one facet in life that interests you personally?
I think as human beings, what makes us different from the other animals in the kingdom are that we are multifaceted.
We are, exactly.
And that's precisely what differentiates us from other animals. And I've been grateful for the love I've received as an actor and especially in light of the fact that acting has been one aspect of my life. And I have absolutely no reason to complain, but only reasons to be grateful. Which is the one aspect of my life that I like is a very difficult question to answer, because I think the fundamental thing that makes us humans is that we are multifaceted. If we had to pick one over the other, it would be a tough one, for me at least.
The roles that you've done, they're very meaty. They're very, they are for the thinking individuals for that matter. So how do you cull out your entire, filmic career for that matter?
There was always a very clear idea that films are one part of my life. However, they are an enabler for the other parts of my life. And I was very clear from a very early stage that films was a means to an end, not an end in itself. And if the means to an end, and the end is to be a well-rounded individual who is developed all aspects of their personality, somebody who makes a meaningful contribution to society as an individual, as a woman, as a mom, as a sister, as a wife. And I think that is the goal for any individual. You should try and be a well-rounded individual. Keeping that end in mind, I think my choice of work has been pretty obvious. I always saw myself as an active member of civil society. I always saw myself as an active member of public life. The persona that I have today come to be associated with, the way that I'm perceived today is actually an outcome of a lot of choices that were very carefully made. But some of the things that have happened by default. But the intent was very clear that I want to be somebody who is regarded as an individual who is credible. I think that was an important box I wanted to tick. And somewhere the roles I've picked have also probably had a lot to do with how I see myself and how I want to see myself, which eventually becomes how you'd like the world to see you.
Absolutely.
There's a complex, loaded, philosophical response to a very simple question.
It's not a simple question, and I actually expected that answer from a person who's as mindful as you are.
Thank you.
In the industry, if you're a part of a particular camp, you are more likely to get more films. You're more likely to be more quote unquote successful. Do you actually? Are you actually one with that very idea?
I think being part of a camp needs a lot of effort outside of working hours. So what that means is that there is a lot of hobnobbing that needs to be done if you wish to associate with a particular camp. So A is a particular project you do, but before and after that project, there is a lot of hobnobbing, a lot of PR, a lot of quality time that you have to invest. I've chosen to invest that time in different things. If I didn't have Rishi in my life, if I didn't have my cousin living in Bombay, I probably would have actively seeked out more friendships.
Absolutely.
But every evening when I went somewhere, when I went home, I had someone to go back to.
Exactly.
And I think that has a big role to play in how you develop camps and relationships. And again, camps are a good thing. I don't think camps are a bad thing at all. It just means you get along with a certain bunch of people. It means that you get along and you enjoy working together. So I don't necessarily see camps as a bad thing.
This particular, chalan jo hai abhi filhal, the kind of questions that are hurled by the media to the actors. For instance, if they are on a podium for some trailer launch, for any other event for that matter, many of them kind of abrogate the questions.
But do you blame them?
I don't blame them.
Because you see, what happens is when a celebrity of the stature of, say, an Naamir Khan or say Shah Rukh Khan takes a position on something and that position happens to be unpopular, the backlash is massive. So on one hand, we want in our country to have the Sean Penns and the George Clooneys and the Meryl Streeps. On the other hand, our audiences get swung with emotional rhetoric.
Yes.
And then there are campaigns being run to make sure you take away their sources of livelihood, endorsements be cancelled. I mean, what you're actually doing is you're telling a film star that if you don't toe the line, we will come after you for your source of livelihood, because their source of livelihood, A, is the film work they do and the endorsements that they do. And if we don't like your opinion, we are going to come after you for your livelihood, which in effect is your life. So I think the kind of an environment we've created for discourse is probably not ideal for anybody taking an opinion or taking a stand.
Coming to your film Bypass Road, how was the entire experience working with Neil, and the fact that he's a producer? How did he treat you as a producer?
I think you just saw that.
Yeah.
Neil is an actor's producer. He's an actor himself. He's one of the most talented individuals I've ever met. He can sing, he can write, he can dance, he can act. And because he's also the writer of the film, his clarity of thought in terms of how each character was etched out was incredible. When we met, he literally performed Romila for me. Also, his attention to detail is marvelous. In short, the experience with him was like a adrenaline rush. Being on set with Neil is an adrenaline rush. The shot taking of this film is unique. I mean, typically, a lot of times a scene is being done and the camera is placed here and the actors are here and you just do your thing, which is not a bad thing at all. But the manner in which so many shots have been designed, the camera is coming like a alien creature like this and coming from here, and so you're actually, performing for the camera is been an experience on this particular film.
What about Naman? What kind of directions did he give? And the fact that he's the director and he's doing it for the first time, how was it working with him?
Naman is like Zen on set. For somebody whose first film it is, for somebody who is so young, for somebody who has so much on his shoulders, he never raised his voice. He never lost his cool. He was always in control of every situation. In fact, he was the person who would be the diffuser on set. If there were, things happen. I mean, it's after 120 odd people working together trying to get something right.
You have been a part of the web series as well of late. You have done a web series with Amazon Prime, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're doing a feature film. So what exactly, according to you, how do you call out the difference between working for these two different mediums, and how different is it for you as an actor?
So see, as an actor, the medium doesn't really change. In fact, it only benefits you. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. I've had a lot of incredible feedback for The Family Man. And if it was a full-fledged blockbuster for theatrical release, maybe the economics of it would have dictated a bigger star. But in the web series format, because your audience is so specifically targeted, you can actually take casting decisions which are probably more suitable to pure casting than to the economics of the project. So I think what the web series, the web platform has essentially done is that it's opened the box which typically a theatrical film needs to exist in, no matter what you do. Because the economics of mounting a theatrical film of even medium scale are such that you have to cater to the lowest common denominator, in which case you cannot leave certain things for the audience to infer. You must spell them out. In short, I think from an actor's perspective, it's all great, because the film medium remains as it is. There are opportunities every now and then. The web platform really pushes the envelope on all that's happening in terms of from an actor's point of view, and also the quantum of work available has gone up dramatically.
You've got to tell me, what are the projects that are lined up for you?
Right after we are done with the release of Bypass Road, I'm on a passion project called Her Drive. So as one of the few women from showbiz who is interested in riding bikes, in driving cars, I've been part of some pretty amazing automobile experiences, because I get invited to those experiences because I'm the girl who rides a bike, or I'm the woman who drives cool cars and does adventures on jeeps. Once we wrap up Her Drive in mid-November is when we get into get into high gear for promotions for
Okay.
Rangbaz, which is Rangbaz season 2,
Okay.
which is a Z.
Saqib Salim.
Yes, that was the first season. This time is Jimmy Shergill,
Okay.
Zishan, Ali, Sharad Kelkar, and myself, and Spruha. So there's some very cool things coming out of there as well. I'm very excited about how Rangbaz season 2 is shaping up. That's out in the second half of December. And then in the early part of next year, there's MX Players, Pavan and Pooja with Sharman Joshi, which
Okay.
is something we're doing together again after almost a spate of 12 years. We were last together in one night at the call center.
Yeah.
So now Sharman and I are back in this amazing show called Pavan and Pooja. And then there's another project for Amazon, which it should be out sometime next year.
Wow, that's a lovely and a huge lineup, though. So that was the wonderfully eloquent Gul Panag. My name is Sandeep with Instant Times Online, Desimartini. Thank you so much.